Good morning. Good morning. Sorry for my tardiness. My door would not let me into my house. I have one of those freaking keypad things. And sometimes it just spins and spins and spins. I'm like, let me in my house. I got a call to do. All right. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Yes, everybody, I had customers buying snow cone before I even knew it was released. I have gotten the flyer. I'm sure you guys have seen the flyer. Doesn't look like we're getting the discount. So just suck it up and get it anyways. Maybe they'll fix it later, but maybe they're going back to what we used to have. We used to never get discounts on new flavors, so we just can be grateful that we've gotten it on so many of the past ones. I grabbed my 4 boxes, so make sure you get in there and get yours, because definitely said limited release. But what we're going to talk about today, and it's going to be very short and to the point, is engaging and launching new promoters, right? So there's definitely a difference between you launching a promoter, like think of rocket ship, versus, hold on a sec. Okay. Rocket ship versus your onboarding. Okay. And I think a lot of times we get caught up, and I know I have in the past with promoters, of onboarding them and giving them things that they isn't really starting their business, right? It's stuff that they're going to need to know, and they're going to need to be able to run their business, like the Pulse app, right? Or being part of the promoter group on Facebook. But being a part of those groups isn't actually launching them, right? So onboarding is throwing a bunch of stuff at them and adding them to groups, like maybe adding them to core leadership or adding them to your own, like I have my own team's messenger page called Keto Tribe. That's not putting them into action. Okay. When we are launching a promoter, we are putting them into action. And what I'm going to give you is some of those action steps. And I'm also going to backtrack before somebody becomes a promoter, and this is coming from me personally, what I like to do when I know I've had that conversation, or somebody's loving them and they come to me and say, hey, like, what does the business side of this look like? So launching them is putting them into action. So we all know how, and hopefully, and if you don't, then please, drop it in the comments or message me later, what a curiosity post looks like, okay? We can do them for our customers to get them a free product. You definitely are going to be doing that when you first launch a promoter. Even if they've already done a curiosity post as a customer, they can do another one. We can do another version, especially if they've been drinking ketones longer, to put a curiosity post together, post it, and then work it with them, right? You're going to want to work it with them. Don't go, hey, here's this post, good luck. No, tell them how you tell them how to post the picture. We help write that out, the curiosity post. We coach them on how to respond. You do not respond in the messages. Say, hey, I'm sending you a private message. Super excited to share. Whatever it might be. There's lots of different ways to respond. And then we go into people's private messages. What do you know about ketones and ketosis? When they start asking questions, that's where you, as the sponsor of that new promoter, can start working those 3-way conversations, or match the hatch and use the rest of the team to do that, right? So once you've created a post and you work it with them, you've given them an assignment, then you're checking in with them, you're helping them through it. When that's done, then it's the next action step, and so on. So having conversations, maybe setting up a keto life party, setting up even a small meet and greet at a coffee shop or whatnot. You have to give them the next action step. Put them into action, 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 okay? Yeah, the stuff in the background can come along, but that's not going to launch them into their business. They need to immediately be having conversations, immediately be getting ketones into people's mouths, and following up and getting a customer base, correct? So the other cool thing, and launching literally there's urgency behind it, guys. You have to do it within and I'll tell you this, I do this before somebody buys a promoter pack. I put them into the action before they buy that promoter pack, right? So then they're already creating that curiosity. Sometimes, especially if somebody's like, I don't know if I really want to spend that much. Granted, guys, $1,300, if you paid full price for it, is not a lot to start a business. I paid full $1,300. It's amazing that we have all these other really great flavors, and they're getting them at 22% off being on SmartShip, which of course they're going to be on SmartShip. I started off, I'm going to pull, Tony always talks about one flavor. Guys, I only had 3. And they're 3 flavors that I do not drink today, for the most part, right? So we're really lucky to have the amount of flavors that we have, and people are getting it at a discount, right? But they can also pre-sell. So putting them into the action, but the thing about launching versus onboarding is it's the urgency and it's time sensitive. You're giving specific action steps to immediately start their business and move them forward. There was a really cool example during Level Up that was given where I believe it was Mandy or somebody had gone to a small event, part of their team, and she met this new promoter. I don't know how many, people, sponsors down. And she had literally hit COC within 2 months. And they were at a playbook event, but like at somebody's house, right? All watching it together. And she didn't even know who BU was because her sponsor and her team had put her into so much action. She hadn't even been watching or doing anything that related to our company. It was just launching her business, guys. Could you imagine like not knowing who BU is and you've hit COC? Like that's how important it is. There's a sense of urgency. Onboarding is more stuff to get them plugged into, but it's not urgent, like the promoter page, even the Pulse app, things like that. Those are like background resources information. Yes, we may need to plug them into, Keto 101 or Prove It TV so they can be using the resources, to be answering questions for people and such. But those are the background things, and that's more onboarding versus launching them. Action steps, you got to get them into action, which is having those conversations, attracting, connecting, and enrolling, just like what Mark went over a couple days ago. So, but here's a couple other things. And this is, I have a guy who's about to come on as a promoter, but you want to also ask very powerful questions. So it's, you want to be asking, what is it that they want out of the business? So before you're launching them or right as you're launching them is, what is it that they want out of the business? You have to meet people where they're at, all right? So, like ask them, how much time do you plan to spend? Asking them how much time per week that they think they're going to be able to spend or that they plan to spend, not think like how that they plan or that they have to spend in this business. And then you're going to have to dictate for yourself. You have to be very, efficient with your time. And it's not that you're not going to give your attention to, all your promoters or promoters of promoters and promoters, but you want to know if somebody comes in and goes, I want this full time, then you know where to spend more of your time, right? Jeremy's trained on this, right? It's like the 90-10. So that 90 is spent on your personal business. The 10 is spent on like your team, but where of that 10 are you spending? You want to spend that time on those who want to go, right? You also want to ask them like not only what they want out of the business, but why. Guys, it always goes back to the why. Why do they want this? Is there why? And I don't want to say there's never a not good enough reason or a big enough reason, but if their why is really strong, then again, they're going to want to go hard and go fast. Here's some steps for me is I make sure I walk them through the Go Challenge before they even become a promoter. They need to know that there's bonuses that they can hit and what that entails. And then you have to ask them, do you want those? Are we going to charge for those? Because again, that's where you know where to spend your time. So here's me personally talking with my newest promoter, or he's going to be becoming a new promoter, is I said, okay, great. We're going to start creating curiosity posts now. We're going to start getting you some customers. Okay, guys, it's great to have them already be going through the process of getting customers before they become a promoter, because now they already know what is going to be happening and what they need to consistently do. Okay, it just may go up another level when they become a promoter and they've now invested even more, money and time. But also during that Go Challenge, getting a little technical, anytime an existing customer orders or their Smart Ship hits during that 14 days or that 30 days, it counts towards their volume to hit their GoPro and their Go MVP. Guys, this is about creating the MVP factory. What you do with that promoter in the first 30 to 40 days is exactly what they're going to do with their next promoter and even with their customers. How you launch somebody is how they're going to launch somebody. So we need to get it dialed in, and you need to give them all those action steps. So, and then, and as they go, here's another thing is don't just focus on just like the GoPro or the Go MVP. Celebrate the wins when they get their first customer, when they get their second customer, when they have somebody who asks about, the business, like celebrate all the small wins, keep them inspired, And also make sure you're leading them by doing the same actions that you're asking them to do. Guys, you cannot lead somebody and not be doing what you're asking them to do. If you're not posting consistently, I'm like guilty. I haven't posted the last 2 days. My life is just cuckoo right now. I'm constantly in my stories. But if you're asking them to post and have conversations and reach out to people and you're not doing those things, they're not going to want to do it. You have to lead by example. You have to be doing the actions that you're asking them to do. Otherwise, they're not going to believe you. And sometimes they're needing to borrow your belief until they have it for themselves. Okay. And then of course, events. You get them to the next event, you get them to the next event, you get them to the next event. But the biggest thing here is, and I've done it myself, is, you ask the powerful questions. So number one, what do they want from this business? How much time are they going to spend on it? So you know how much time you're going to spend with each of them, right? Of who really wants to charge and go, and what's their why. Okay. Ask them their why and get dialed in with them. Celebrate their wins, but launch them like a rocket ship. Get them into conversations. And like I said, I like to do it before they even get started, right? You put them into that action before they even buy that promoter pack, because now you're already ahead of the game. They feel ahead of the game, and there's a lot less pressure, especially when you know that they're going for that Go Challenge. Okay. I walk people through that Go Challenge before they become a promoter every single time. And I've had people say, I don't want to work that hard to try to get, to try to hit that bonus. I've never had anybody say that. Like, do you not want an extra $750? Because it's $250 for GoPro and $500 for MVP. And that's outside of if there's another extra special, promo going on. Like, we've had a lot of those. So on top of their commissions that they're going to make, right? And again, charging with them during that Go Challenge period is what's going to set them up for what consistently needs to happen every single month to then also hit multiplier. And again, to launch their promoters in the best way possible. So that's all I got for you guys today. Short and sweet. I have a workout to get to in the next 15 minutes, and I actually still haven't fully written it all. Well, I have it all written out, but it's not organized. So, but it's just super important, guys. It's super important. Launching versus onboarding. Launch your promoters. Launch yourself. If you're in a rut right now, or you're not doing the actions that you know you need to be doing, every day is a new day. Launch yourself. Put yourself through the Go Challenge. Charge for MVP every month, guys. Okay, you got this. I believe in you. Have an amazing Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow.